On June 5, 1968, Robert F. Kennedy was gunned down in a hotel pantry, and the world was told it was the work of a lone assassin. But decades later, the case remains clouded by contradictions, vanishing witnesses, and eerie coincidences. From mysterious figures to missing evidence, here are the strangest things about the RFK assassination that still don't make sense. Number 1. The murder didn't achieve the assassin's political goals. According to official accounts, Robert F. Kennedy was shot by Sirhan, a Palestinian born in Jerusalem who was angry over Kennedy's pro-Israel stance. Sirhan, who grew up in Pasadena, supposedly planned the attack to coincide with the one-year anniversary of the Six-Day War, which had ended in a swift Israeli victory in 1967. However, historians argue that the assassination did nothing to further Sirhan's aims. In fact, it may have had the opposite effect. After Kennedy's death, the Democratic Party nominated Hubert Humphrey, and in the general election, Richard Nixon, not known for pro-Palestinian views, won the presidency. Under Nixon, U.S. support for Israel grew stronger, culminating in the 1973 Operation Nickel Grass, which airlifted massive military aid to Israel during the Yom Kippur War. That led to further Israeli territorial gains. So from a political standpoint, the killing of RFK had no tangible benefit for Sirhan's cause. Number 2. RFK had no Secret Service protection. In today's context, it seems unthinkable that a leading presidential candidate and brother of a slain president would lack federal protection. Yet in 1968, that was the norm. The Secret Service didn't protect candidates at the time, only sitting presidents and their families. That changed after RFK's assassination. His murder prompted new legislation, and since then, all major presidential candidates have been entitled to protection. Ironically, in 2024, RFK's son Robert F. Kennedy Jr. faced a similar situation. Despite multiple security threats and an eventual assassination attempt against Donald Trump, Kennedy Jr. wasn't initially granted protection. President Joe Biden ultimately approved it, but only after public pressure and alarming incidents. Number 3. How many shots were fired? Sirhan's gun could only hold 8 bullets, and that has always been the official count of shots fired. But inconsistencies quickly emerged. Some witnesses claimed to hear up to 14 shots. Additionally, reports like one from The Guardian suggested as many as 14 bullet holes were discovered at the crime scene. This raised a troubling possibility: were there more shots than Sirhan could physically fire? Survivors like Paul Schrade, who was shot in the head, later supported experts who analyzed audio recordings and claimed to hear 13 distinct shots. Others still hear only 8. The problem is further complicated by background noise on the tape and unknown mic placement. Number 4. Who was the woman in the polka dot dress? One of the most mysterious elements of RFK's assassination is the elusive woman in the polka dot dress. Several witnesses reported seeing her with Sirhan before the shooting. Some even claimed she fled the scene yelling, "We shot him," referring to Kennedy. Among the most compelling witnesses was Sandra Serrano, a Kennedy campaign worker. She testified that the woman ran down the fire escape with another man and exclaimed, "We shot him. We shot Senator Kennedy." Though authorities later tried to discredit Serrano's account through aggressive interrogation, she never recanted her story. This mysterious woman was never identified, and the FBI seemingly lost interest in her. Some suspect she may have been a distraction, an accomplice, or part of a larger plot, fueling conspiracy theories that persist to this day. Number 5. CIA agents may have been present at the hotel. Conspiracy theorists have long speculated that the CIA had a hand in RFK's murder, or at least knew more than they admitted. One key figure in this theory is David Sanchez Morales, a CIA operative allegedly seen at the Ambassador Hotel on the night of the assassination. Friends and former colleagues of Morales, such as Ruben Carbajal, later claimed Morales said, "I was in Dallas when we got the son of a bitch, and I was in Los Angeles when we got the little bastard." Though Morales is officially unconnected to the assassination, the possibility of CIA surveillance or direct involvement continues to cast a long shadow over the case. Number 6. Ballistics evidence is inconsistent. Another major problem: the bullets don't seem to match. Forensic analysis has raised questions about whether all the bullets retrieved from the crime scene came from Sirhan's gun. In 2004, the California Innocence Project took on the case and claimed the bullets had different markings, suggesting at least one was fired from a different weapon. Further complicating things, a court-ordered review in 1975 found that the physical evidence, particularly bullet markings, was inconclusive. The lead criminologist in the case later admitted some bullets may have been switched or misidentified. This murky ballistics evidence leaves room for doubt and adds fuel to the theory that more than one shooter was involved. Number 7. Sirhan may have been hypnotized. One of the more outlandish but persistent theories is that Sirhan was hypnotized into carrying out the assassination. Some experts believe he may have been a Manchurian candidate, programmed to kill Kennedy by shadowy figures. Over the years, hypnosis specialists, including Dr. Daniel Brown of Harvard, studied Sirhan and concluded that he was in a trance-like state during the killing. Sirhan himself has repeatedly said he has no memory of firing the shots. This theory remains controversial. But if Sirhan truly didn't know what he was doing or was under someone else's influence, it opens the door to disturbing possibilities. Number 8. Witness accounts don't match. A troubling pattern in the RFK assassination is the number of contradictory eyewitness accounts. Some witnesses said Sirhan was several feet in front of Kennedy when the shots were fired, but the autopsy showed that the fatal bullet entered from behind Kennedy's right ear, at close range. This discrepancy led to serious questions. Could Sirhan have delivered the fatal shot? Or was someone else behind Kennedy, possibly a second gunman? Some testimonies were later walked back, while others were ignored. But the inconsistency of the accounts makes it difficult to accept the official version without serious skepticism. Number 9. There's no video of the assassination itself. Given the number of journalists, photographers, and media presence at the Ambassador Hotel that night, it seems bizarre, no actual footage exists of the moment RFK was shot. While many photos and post-shooting images survive, including the famous one of busboy Juan Romero cradling Kennedy, there is no video or film capturing the act itself. Security at the event was relatively loose, and media personnel were not stationed in the kitchen pantry, where the assassination took place. Still, the lack of visual documentation has led to even more speculation and mystery, especially since the Zapruder film of JFK's assassination became such a defining piece of evidence. Without footage, crucial questions about positioning, timing, and who was where during the shooting remain difficult to answer. Number 10. Sirhan's real motives remain murky. Sirhan has consistently said that he doesn't remember shooting Kennedy, but when asked about a motive, he often refers to Kennedy's support for Israel. But even that explanation has drawn scrutiny. Sirhan kept a diary, but its entries seem confused and contradictory, filled with obsessive phrases like RFK must die, but lacking clear reasoning or ideology. Some experts and attorneys involved in his parole hearings have argued that Sirhan didn't truly understand what he was doing or why. His apparent amnesia and vague political reasoning suggest that the real motive behind his actions may never be fully known. Even today, Sirhan claims he has no memory of firing the shots, a claim that fuels both sympathy and deep suspicion. Number 11. The official investigation left many questions unanswered. Finally, despite multiple investigations, reviews, and appeals, the RFK assassination case remains riddled with doubt. The Los Angeles Police Department and District Attorney's Office conducted an extensive inquiry in 1968, but many critics argue it was flawed from the beginning. Crucial evidence was allegedly mishandled, and alternative leads, like the polka dot dress woman or a second shooter, were dismissed or underexplored. In later years, independent researchers, journalists, and even members of Kennedy's own family pushed for a re-examination of the case. In 2021, RFK Jr. publicly stated that he believed Sirhan didn't kill his father and supported parole. Despite these efforts, the official narrative that Sirhan acted alone has remained unchanged. But with so many lingering inconsistencies, many believe that the full truth about what happened that night has never come to light.